Hi, I'm July, and welcome back to Nick Bits.
No, July, Nick Bits is my thing. You're not in that one.
Why the heck couldn't I be in it?
We have stuff that we do together. Nick Bits is my own thing. Do your own thing.
Fine, I will! Welcome to July Tales! What I'm about to tell you is a true story. One that actually happened to me, no less. Some viewers may be shocked and disturbed. It all began on a cold summer morning in October during the fall. Went to school that day, and I had something with me, something special, something terrifying. They were mystery peppers that my neighbor gave me. He came over with a bag, and it was full of different kinds of peppers, and essentially there were three kinds, titled habanero, ghost pepper, and some kind of scorpion. But whenever I took some to school with me in a Ziploc bag, sponsor, I did not know what peppers I had chosen. But I made sure that they all looked similar. I brought three, alright? 3 peppers. Because in one of my classes, I had 2 friends in there. You know, and I'm not super mean. I wasn't going to force them to try it without me trying it. So I go over there. I pulled them out. It was in a college English class, by the way. It was in a video conference class, I guess you would call it. We always muted ourselves because the teacher actually wasn't in our school. She was in a different one. And so that way the people in my school could just talk whenever they wanted without getting in trouble. And so I think it was actually in the middle of class, like almost the end. I pulled the bag out, and these are like some gnarly looking peppers. I mean, they look bad. They look like they will kill you just by glancing at it. And I was like, hey guys, whispering to my friends, of course. I'm like, hey guys, I got something for you. And they're like, what are those? And essentially, I'm like, I don't know. Some kind of pepper. And they're like, well, what kind of pepper? I'm like, I don't know. But let's eat them. And I was going to give one to Eugene. Hey, that's not his real name, but Eugene wouldn't do it. But my other friend, Trevor, may or may not be his real name, and I may or may not have permission. I don't know. You don't know either. Anyway, Trevor also said no. But screw Trevor. No offense, Trevor. You're cool. Anyway, after some convincing and peer pressure from everyone else in the class, there was only like 8 of us, he eventually agreed. And so we both pick a whole pepper, alright? Like, these things look all wrinkly and gross. Just by opening the Ziploc bag, the fumes alone made our eyes water from heat. But anyway, we were smart, so we're like, it doesn't matter. And so with everyone watching, they weren't saying anything, but they were silently cheering in their eyes. Me and Trevor, on the count of 3, we go to do this. And I was really hoping that he wasn't just going to leave me hang, but he didn't! Good on you, Trevor. 3, 2, 1, crunch. We ate them. Trevor only ate half of his. He'll probably say more than that, but I'm saying half. I ate pretty much all the way to the stem. And I can remember whenever I bit into it, there was a sound that came out that went psst. And at the time, I was like, that's weird, but whatever. Everyone is just like in silent anticipation, like crowded around us. And then I literally start to say, well, this isn't so bad. And then immediately, in unison, me and Trevor slam our hands on the table. And by this point, the heat hit us like a huge semi-truck. And we tried to chew it. I mean, in retrospect, I think we probably didn't even chew another full 3 seconds. Because we, in unison, like this is all like a synchronized horror show. We, in unison, jumped up from the table. I think I knocked my chair over too. Sprinted to the back of the room to the trash can and proceeded to try and spit out the remaining pepper that was in our mouths. Probably looked like we were vomiting. It was pretty gross, especially since it was all red and like, eh. And then we like start pacing the room. And then again, in unison, we turned without asking permission or anything. We sprint out of the room. We sprint to the bathroom. Our faces were covered in sweat, our hair was unkempt, and our eyes were completely bloodshot. I looked like the Joker. And in the bathroom, there was a guy in there. Shove him out of the way. I feel kind of bad now, so sorry, guy, if you see this. But shoved him out of the way, and then proceed to start getting handfuls of water from the sink and just shoveling them down our mouths. Now, if you know anything about spicy things, water is not your best friend, all right? We quickly found that out. So we began pulling paper towels out of the paper towel dispenser and scrubbing our tongues with paper towels. The guy I shoved out of the way, we'll name him Jack. And he was standing there in horror. His eyes were just huge. And eventually he managed to get the courage to stammer out like, are you guys okay? And that, for about a split second, we just stopped scrubbing our tongues like maniacs to stare at him. I honestly don't remember if I grabbed him, but I feel like I might have like grabbed his collar and shaken him a bit and managed to stammer out, "Help me." And I think Trevor Mann was like, "Spicy, hot." And then he's like, "Well, I don't know if I can help," but he had a backpack on with salt and pepper in his backpack. I don't know why, but he did. He's like, "Maybe this will help." So I just start downing a thing of salt and pepper into my mouth. Now, I don't know that necessarily hurt, but it definitely didn't work. It was just really gross. And then so we realized across the hall is this cool teacher who usually has like milk cartons left over from breakfast in her fridge. So we sprint into the room. Luckily there wasn't a class going on at the time, but she wasn't in there either. We run to her fridge and just start like sifting through her fridge. And then whenever we're throwing all our food all over the floor, she walks into the room. Guys, are you all right? And no, we weren't. About this time, we were able to talk a little bit more. We're like, help us, please. Please help us. And she's like, what happened? What happened? And we're like, peppers, so hot. And then we later on discovered that the reason she didn't have milk, she literally had milk every day that year until this day. First period, she had a freshman class. That's right, freshman. And apparently they kept making messes with the leftover milk all the time. So she's like, "You know what, freshman? I'm taking away your milk privileges. I'm not keeping no more extra milk." So the one day that we needed that milk, it wasn't there. But to our luck, there was like week-old yogurt at the back of the fridge that we were shoveling down our mouths because we didn't have spoons or nothing. So we were just dumping containers of yogurt in our mouths whenever she walks into the room. So to my surprise, she actually managed to understand, or at least partially understand, our agonizing words, I guess. Grunts, more like it. About this time, the initial heat was starting to wear off, and now we just felt like we wanted to die because it hurt so bad. It literally felt like we drank acid and our stomach was no longer existent. And so we slowly trudge back to the room. And as soon as we walk into the room, the whole class starts laughing at us, but it was okay. We didn't care. We were in too much pain. And yeah, essentially we had migraines for the next 2 days and a sore throat. We couldn't hardly eat lunch. But the good news is it did cure my cold. They were definitely not habaneros. They were either ghost peppers or scorpions, which to my knowledge, most scorpions are actually hotter than ghost peppers. But we think, according to pictures, that they were ghost peppers. But, you know, I'm cool, so let's just say they were scorpions and I survived that. So, moral of the story is, if your friend pulls out a random bag of strange peppers that he doesn't even know what they are, think before you eat. But it makes a cool story, so you might just go ahead and eat it anyway. Well, thanks you guys for listening to this episode of July Tales, because Nicholas didn't want me in his other Nick Bits thing. So let's get way more likes and views than Nick Bits. Thanks guys, have a good day. See you later. By the way, Ziploc isn't an actual sponsor, I was just joking.